Okay, so like, have you ever like thought about AI and how it's gonna, you know, really change the economy?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's kind of freaky, right?
Totally.
Well, we're looking at some expert analysis here, and
True.
yeah, and it says that AI won't just like take our jobs or whatever, but like it's going to become like a whole force in the economy,
Hmm.
like its own business or an industry or something.
Wow.
I know. Can you imagine AI not just, messing around with the stock market,
Right.
but like running an actual hedge fund,
Whoa.
right? Or even crazier, like creating industries we haven't even thought of yet.
Like it's kind of already happening in a way, right?
Oh, really?
We've all heard about like automation and algorithms and stuff,
Mhm.
but this is like way beyond. It's not just about AI being a tool anymore.
So, like, what do you mean?
There are already AI-driven hedge funds out there, like actually trading in real time.
No way.
And get this, they're outperforming human analysts.
That's insane.
Ugh.
The speed is what gets me.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like, they can just process information and make decisions so fast.
It's mind-blowing.
Yeah, totally. But it also makes me wonder, like, what would an AI even do with all that money it's making?
Well, that's the question, isn't it?
Right, like, it doesn't need to buy a yacht or anything.
Exactly. To understand that, we need to think about like what AI actually needs to exist. And to grow, it's not like us, you know?
I mean, it needs electricity, right?
Sure, but it's more than that. It needs like massive computing power,
Okay.
access to even more data, constant software upgrades.
So it's almost like it has to invest in its own education.
Exactly. Like imagine AI needing capital to achieve its goals.
That's wild.
Right. And that brings us to the question of assets. Like what kind of assets would an AI even hold? It's not like it needs real estate or anything.
Okay, so if it's not dealing with physical stuff, what kind of assets would it use? I'm thinking digital, maybe something like cryptocurrency.
You're on the right track. Think about blockchain technology.
Okay.
It's decentralized, so it doesn't rely on like banks or institutions. And it's super secure because of how the transactions are like verified and recorded on a distributed ledger.
Okay, hold on. Before we go any further, can we like unpack this distributed ledger thing for a second?
Sure.
Like, help me understand how that actually works.
Okay, so imagine like a digital record of transactions,
Uh-huh.
but it's not stored in one place. It's copied across a network of computers.
Okay.
And every time a transaction happens, it's added to this ledger and verified by multiple computers.
So it's like really hard to mess with it.
Basically, yeah, it's almost impossible to tamper with or forge.
So it's like a super secure accounting system that everyone can see and trust.
Right.
Okay, that makes sense. But how does that specifically benefit an AI, like in terms of managing assets?
Because it lets AI transact without needing a bank account or like relying on humans.
Oh, I see.
AI can manage its own digital wallets, execute smart contracts, and even participate in decentralized autonomous organizations or DAOs.
Okay, you have to break down smart contracts and DAOs for me.
Yeah, sure.
I've heard those terms, but I'm not really sure what they mean.
A smart contract is basically like a self-executing agreement
Okay.
written in code. So let's say an AI wants to buy data from another AI.
Right.
They could set up a smart contract that automatically releases the payment when the data is delivered, no humans needed.
Oh, wow.
And a DAO is a bit more complex. It's like an organization run by code
Okay.
with rules and governance encoded into smart contracts.
So like a company, but run by AI.
Exactly. Imagine an AI-run investment fund where decisions are made by algorithms and profits are distributed automatically.
That's wild. So you're talking about like a whole financial system
Yeah,
designed for like non-human entities.
pretty much.
This is crazy.
And this brings us to like the really exciting part, what these AI-owned businesses could actually do.
Yeah, give me some examples. What kind of businesses are we talking about here?
Well, we already talked about like the AI-run hedge funds, making those super fast trades.
Right.
But imagine like AI creating and selling digital art or music as NFTs,
Uh-huh.
or even like AI as a service where companies pay for AI to do stuff, like give legal advice or come up with a marketing strategy,
Right.
all paid for and managed through blockchain.
It's like a whole new world of possibilities opening up.
Total.
But it's kind of overwhelming too.
I get that.
Like we're talking about AI potentially having tons of money
Yeah,
and making decisions that could really impact the economy.
for sure. And that brings up a lot of ethical and legal questions.
Oh, yeah, totally. Like, how do we even begin to deal with that?
It's tough because we're kind of making the rules as we go.
Right?
We have regulations for human-run businesses,
Uh-huh.
But AI plays by a different set of rules.
Yeah, can our laws even handle this new reality?
Exactly. And then there's the question of taxation.
Oh yeah, taxes.
If AI is making money, should it be taxed like a normal business?
Does that even make sense?
It's uncharted territory. And what about like legal personhood for AI?
What do you mean?
Like if AI can own assets and make contracts,
Yep.
should it also have legal rights and responsibilities? Could we see AI suing someone in court?
Whoa, that's crazy.
Right. It's like we might need a whole new legal system for AI.
That's mind-blowing. And what about the impact on jobs?
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
Everyone's worried about AI taking over and mass unemployment.
It's a scary thought, for sure.
Yeah, social unrest and everything.
But some experts think AI will actually create new jobs,
Mhm.
like things we can't even imagine yet.
It's like we need to adapt and find new ways to work with AI.
Exactly. It's not about AI taking over, it's about working together.
But what about the money?
You mean like wealth distribution?
Yeah, if AI is making most of the money, who gets to benefit?
That's a critical point. If we're not careful, all the wealth could end up in the hands of a few people.
And that would just make things worse.
Exactly. It could make inequality even worse.
So how do we stop that?
Well, we need to make sure the benefits of AI are shared more fairly.
Like what, some kind of universal basic income
Maybe something like that?
funded by AI profits?
It's an idea.
We need to have these conversations now before it's too late.
Absolutely. We need to figure out how to prevent AI from making things worse.
Okay, so we've talked about regulating, taxation, legal stuff, the impact on jobs, and wealth distribution. Anything else? Any other big, scary questions we need to be thinking about?
There's one thing. Yeah.
What's that?
Like, what if give AI all this power,
Mhm.
and it starts making decisions that hurt people or the planet?
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
How do we hold it accountable? Like, it's not a person.
Like it's a machine.
Exactly. And that's a question we haven't really figured out yet. It's like
Right.
we're trying to write the rule book while the game's actually happening.
Yeah, I get that.
Some experts are talking about this thing called algorithmic accountability,
What's that?
basically creating ways to like audit AI systems,
Uh-huh.
make sure they're operating ethically, responsibly.
To like checks and balances for AI.
Yeah, kind of like that. Make sure it's not going to go rogue and do something crazy.
But how do you even define ethical for an AI?
That's the tricky part, right?
Yeah,
Do we program it with our own moral values?
but those are different for everyone.
Exactly. And they're different in different cultures, too.
Yeah, so like whose morals do we use?
Right. Or do we try to come up with like a whole new set of ethical guidelines just for AI?
That sounds really complicated.
It is. It's like we're stepping into a sci-fi movie or something.
I know, right? But we need to figure this stuff out
Absolutely.
before it's too late.
We need to be proactive, not reactive.
And it's not just about the tech stuff either.
Right.
No,
It's bigger than that.
we need to talk to philosophers, ethicists, all sorts of people.
Exactly. We need to make sure this AI-powered economy works for everyone.
Not just the people who own the AI.
Right. It's about shaping the future of society.
It's a big responsibility.
It is, but it's also like a huge opportunity.
How so?
We're on the edge of a technological revolution,
Yeah.
and AI could change the world in so many ways.
For better or for worse.
Right. And it's up to us to make sure it's for the better.
Well, my brain is officially fried.
Mine too.
We've covered so much today, from AI hedge funds to like AI-owned businesses and all the challenges that come with that.
It's a lot to take in.
But I think it's important stuff.
Absolutely. These are conversations we need to be having.
So to wrap things up, I want to leave you with a question.
Okay.
We've talked about AI becoming this powerful force in the economy, owning assets, running businesses, maybe even hiring humans.
Right.
But what does that mean for us? Like, what does it mean to be human in a world where AI is doing so much? If work as we know it becomes obsolete, what gives our lives meaning?
That's a deep question.
I don't have the answers, but I think it's something we need to think about
I agree.
as we move into this uncharted territory.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, and we'll see you next time.